So today we're going to talk about the myth of talent and why having talent, whether it be business or something creative, does not determine whether or not you'll be successful. Coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we talk about how to make money, save money, and create a retirement from nothing. Well, one of the things that holds people back from trying something new is the idea that you have to have talent. Whether that talent be a talent for business or a talent to do something creative, it stops people from pursuing things they could actually be very good at. Now, when you think about talent, and you all known people who had, quote, talent at something, it basically just means that they have a natural affinity for it. Maybe in high school they would doodle and make incredible drawings. Maybe they would get up and do speeches that were incredible for someone of that age. You know, maybe they have a natural talent for writing. Maybe they had like a lawn care business as a teenager and they were already entrepreneurs. They had a natural affinity for it. However, that doesn't mean someone with a natural affinity for something will be successful. It also doesn't mean you have to have talent to do something. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people, and I'm in the writing world and I'm also in the art world. There are some authors and there are some artists who will play up, oh, my talent appeared when I was but 3 years old, and I have grown that talent. It's just so awesome. God looked down and shone his light upon me. It's nuts. That's not what happens, y'all. It's not what happens at all. Now, no question, a lot of these people have a natural talent. But how many of those people, when you think back on it, because I'm over 50 now, that you knew in high school that had a natural talent for something, ever did anything with it? It doesn't mean they were successful at turning that into a lifelong pursuit. They weren't. In fact, a lot of them weren't. There are also a lot of people who come to something at an older age. They write their first novel, they paint their first painting, they do their first entrepreneurial business at a much later age, and they're immediately successful. Why is that? If they had a, quote, talent for it, wouldn't they have known it? Not necessarily. Here's how talent works. You may have a natural ability in something, but if you do not learn the skill set to capitalize on it, it does you zero good. If you do not commit to learning and growing, then it just lays there and dies eventually. By the same token, if you decide, even way down the road at a later age, to take up art, writing, business, if you are committed and you apply yourself to learn the skill set, you can be immediately successful. Talent has nothing to do with success. Yes, it gives some people a head start, but that doesn't mean you can't catch up and pass them in the end. I know writers who can't spell to save their life. I know one New York Times best-selling author who's dyslexic. She has a terrible time spelling. Did that stop her success? No, absolutely not. I know artists who couldn't draw when they started trying to learn to be an artist. They couldn't even draw, couldn't doodle. They have become successful artists because they applied themselves. They learned the skill set, and now they have turned that skill set into a business. I mean, when I think about that, I think about people like Grandma Moses, who didn't even start painting until she was retirement age. And when I think about business, I think about people like Sarah Blakely. She created Spanx, you know, the girdle of this century. Everybody loves Spanx, and with good reason. It was a wonderful idea. She was told repeatedly she didn't have a head for business, she couldn't turn it into anything, it was dumb. It wasn't. She just had to learn the skill set, and by golly, she did. The bottom line is, all you have to do is commit to do the work. And this is one area where age actually helps you. The idea that you have to start when you're in your teens or you're in your 20s in order to achieve anything in a creative area or in business is a complete fallacy. Age helps you tremendously. You don't have the fear anymore. You don't care what anyone thinks. You have this whole skill set, especially if you're over 50 like I am, of understanding people, of understanding yourself. And so when you apply yourself to something, you progress farther and faster than you ever would have if you'd tried it in your 20s, when you probably would have piddled around with it. It is a wonderful thing not to have those 20-something and teen-something fears and insecurities. So use those to your advantage. People my age aren't afraid to fail. I mean, I did this when I started painting, and it's been less than 2 years since I started painting. First time I picked up oil paints at all. Couldn't draw to save my life. And now, less than 2 years later, I'm getting commissions for paintings. People are buying my paintings. In fact, as soon as they come off the easel, they're sold. It's kind of amazing that that's happened. And it's not because I had a natural talent for art. I didn't. But I learned the skill set. And you can learn the skill set too. Now, I will warn you a little bit. There are going to be people in your life, probably, that perceive you in one way. This is what happened to Sarah Blakely. I'm sure it happened to Grandma Moses too, who will say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's just not you." Well, I hadn't done art before. A lot of people thought that wasn't me. Well, guess what? I get to decide what's me. They don't get to decide. So it really doesn't matter what other people in your life think. It should never prevent you from pursuing those things of which you have an interest, whether that be music, art, writing, business, whatever it is. No one else gets to decide or gets to define who you are. You know, I always think about people like Winston Churchill. When he retired from politics, he took up painting and was fabulous at it. Same thing happened to George W. Bush. When he retired from politics, he now does incredible portraits. They're wonderful. A lot of people have all these latent interests, and if they just choose to pursue them and learn the skill set, they could be fabulous and have a whole new reinvention of who they are. We are all multidimensional people. We have lots of different interests, and that doesn't change just because you get a few decades older. Now, you may convince yourself that you just have to let those ideas go, but that comes from nothing but fear. That idea that you can't do it or you won't be good at it. Well, let me tell you, you won't be good at it at first. No one is. But once you get past that, you progress really quickly. We should all have the opportunity and take the opportunity to become who we eventually were meant to be. And it's never too late. The older you are, the better it works. So don't believe that myth that you have to have talent at something, or you had to have had talent at something when you were in your teens in order to do it. It's not true. So get out there and enjoy those new things and new experiences that you've always wanted to try. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.